Hey there, I'm Ben, flight student and founder of flightschools.fyi, and I'm going to show you how to use flightschools.fyi to find your perfect flight school in 2 minutes. Let's get started. First thing we see when we go to the flightschools.fyi landing page is this search box. So we can actually search by anything we want. So let's say we're interested in flight schools that have a Cessna 152, for example. You could also search for avionics if you wanted to find flight schools that have airplanes with Garmin avionics, or flight schools in New York, or by name, or whatever you want. But here, let's say we're interested in flight schools that have a Cessna 152 as one of their training airplanes. So let's type that in, Cessna 152, and we'll just click search. So we can see instantly we have this list of results. Apparently 147 schools across the country have a Cessna 152, and they're spread across multiple different states. So let's say we're based out of New York. We don't really care about schools in Mississippi, right? So let's go ahead and filter that state. So we'll type in NY. Now we've narrowed our list further to schools that are just in New York. So we have 3, that's a lot more manageable. And we can see here that our list is actually sorted by quality. And I'll explain what that quality means in a second here, but let's go ahead and click on the best school available in New York. So we'll click on Long Island Aviators. And then at the top here, we can see the quality score that we just saw on the previous page. And it's actually broken down here by several factors. So we have training costs, whether or not the designated pilot examiner is available on staff, on-site maintenance, and so on. And if you're ever curious why a certain subscore here was calculated the way it was, you can just hover over and there's an explanation. In this case, training costs got dinged a few points because, well, the school is just a little bit more expensive than some airports, than some schools at the same airport. But it's not the most expensive, so it still gets a lot of points. Then we can see our estimated training costs. So this is what it's going to cost us to get our PPL. And if we ever want to drill more into that, so let's look at this aircraft. This is a Cessna 152, which is what we searched for. But maybe we want to see what's included in that aircraft. We can actually go over to the fleet tab and we can see every single aircraft the school has, as well as the avionics attached to each aircraft. And if we're not sure what the avionics is, well, there's a little tag next to it that explains. So this Garmin Era 500 is a GPS unit. And if you need to know exactly what that means in terms of an aviation GPS, you can click on this. So that explains, hey, this is a normal GPS with a WAS augmentation, which is important for certain kinds of flights. Might be useful to know if you're doing IFR or something like that. But anyway, back to the school listing. So let's say we've looked at our aircraft and our simulators. Simulators are also listed here along with the class, so you know if you can count those against your training or not. And there's an explanation of what the class is too. We can go to the staff tab. So in staff, we can see every single staff member of the schools listed, as well as which certifications at the school. And then there's also IA, which is another important one at the school, which means this individual is authorized to sign off on inspections for aircrafts when they go into annual maintenance and things like that. That saves a lot of time so that planes don't need to be flown somewhere else for maintenance. So that's the full list of fleet, staff, and the overview for the school. And let's say we've looked at all that and we're happy with it. We could actually book a discovery flight right on the platform. Let's do that. So go over to book a discovery flight. We'll type in our name, and let's just type in a phone number, and we'll say we want to be contacted by email. Cool. So we'll click next. When are we available? Let's just say tomorrow, and we could say 2:30 p.m. Cool. Click next. The last question it's going to ask is how familiar we are with aircraft and things like that. So we can say that, yes, we've flown in a small aircraft before as a student pilot, and we're interested in getting our PPL. So we hit review, and then it asks us to confirm that this information will be shared with the school for the express purpose of booking your lesson. And we can click confirm booking, and it'll send it right off to the school, and you'll hear back from them directly without needing to make a phone call at all. That's it. Thanks for watching the demo.